Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, September the 15th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joined by the two brightest stars in the DFS NFL space that I'm aware of, and that is one Josh Crash Davis and Stephen Miller Time Miller. They are here with me today to talk about this showdown game tonight. And it is a hell of a game. Don't you think so, Steven?
No, I sure do. This game might be the best Thursday night game all year long. Two incredible quarterbacks going against each other that are just so young and just so talented. I'm real excited about it. It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be a great one. How about you, Crash? You fired up?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a fun game to watch. You know, my wife is a big Chiefs fan, so it with her. And Mahomes looked great. You know, he didn't really seem to suffer at all from not having Tyreek Hill the last game. So it's gonna be a great game. The Chargers are a little shorthanded without Keenan Allen, but I think it's still gonna be a great game.
Yeah, it should be a great one. And I think it makes for difficult builds though. I was trying to build a lineup and I was having a hell of a time trying to figure out how to do it and get the salary to work. So I can't wait to pick your guys' brains because I'm sitting here with incomplete lineups as we speak. So we need that for sure. But first of all, thank you everybody for joining in. We are going to do a Thursday showdown podcast at 6:50 p.m. Eastern every week. And then Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do the big Sunday blowout for all the games on Sunday. Give you a chance to get those lineups together on Saturday, fill in some lineups. We'll go through every game and matchup position. We're not going to leave a stone unturned. And we just appreciate everybody tuning in here at DFS Coach Talk. I see everybody here just starting to hop in here. You know, everybody's stoked up for the game. I just did a baseball podcast a little bit earlier, and it's an awesome slate, and it was fun. But, man, you can tell NFL fever's here. It's like every other sport takes a back seat.
Yeah, that's what happens.
There's no doubt. And especially when you have a matchup like this, you know?
Right.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And if you guys happen to watch the podcast on Saturday, I was touting Mahomes. So let's hear it for Coach because
I'm all about Mahomes, Coach, and good job with that one.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't know if I'm going to go back to him tonight, though. I can't wait to hear you guys what you have to say. But first of all, thank you to everybody again. Rodney Pollard, hello. Rodney was first in the baseball podcast today, first in the football, a doubleheader first for Mr. Pollard. You know what, Rodney? I'm sending you a dag-blasted ticket. You're getting a $5 winner. We won't count that for the $5 we're giving away. Rodney Pollard, you won a ticket for being first in both podcasts today. So congratulations, my friend.
Early bird. Early bird. Yes.
Early bird gets the worm for sure. RJ, JT, King of Smack, David Dulock, Absolute Power. Everybody that's in here, love the fact that you guys have joined us for this NFL breakdown. Remember, if you do any super chat, throw any money into the till, it all goes into the kitty for our charity of choice at Coach Talk. Have one of our members choose the charity of their choice, and Mr. Dulac is choosing our charity this time. It's Operation Hope, I believe is the name of it. So if you do happen to throw anything into the kitty there, it'll go towards that, and we'll send that forward at the end of September. MB, thanks for joining. Rose Miller was in a baseball chat. We have a new person, so great to have you also join us in here. And a couple of things. We're going to give away 5 tickets throughout. I'll be chirping in with those as these guys are breaking everything down. We're going to go position by position, give you all the information you need, hopefully to take down something big tonight. So if you're watching right now on the way in the door and you're in YouTube, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and definitely click that alert in the upper corner. That lets you know the second that any of our podcasts post live. and we go live 7 days a week with MLB. We have those 2 podcasts on for NFL, and we'll have 7-day-a-week NBA and all kinds of stuff coming up in the future. So hit that alert button so you know when everything is posting. All right, we are going to dive into this sucker right now and get after it. What is your feel just before we start breaking down position by position? What's your overall feel for this game, Crash? Like, are you looking at a lot of points? What is just a couple of general looks at this, and then we'll break it down.
Yeah, I do. I think this is going to be a pretty high scoring game. These defenses, I think, will struggle a little bit. And I definitely think it's going to be a high scoring game. What
about you, Steven?
I hope it's a high scoring game because it's a great primetime game, high scoring, it just gets you so involved, intense. But if you see what Kansas City's defense did last week, they pretty much held the Cardinals to nothing. Not saying that the Chargers are not going to score points, but they just lost a big guy in Keenan Allen. Their defense looks great, but it was so easy for Mahomes this past week. He threw it to every guy on the field. So and before the season even started, he said that's how it was going to be this year.
Yeah,
it's going to be a different guy, different playmaker every week, and that's just the way it's going to be. So it's hard to figure out these receivers for the Chiefs.
Yeah, this is no easy game. I mean, this is a tough one to figure for DFS purposes, no question. Quick game set. It is LA at KC. Nice, warm, beautiful night. 8:15 is the kickoff. Sunny, 53.5 is the total. So Vegas sees this game getting up and down. Kansas City's favored by 4. So very fair spread there. 24.75 implied for the Chargers, 28.75 for the Chiefs. So a clean 4-point favored. So this is going to be interesting. We have projected lineups all over the place. We'll break those down. Herbert versus Mahomes. It doesn't get much better than that. So why don't we start right there? Steven, let's look at these 2 quarterbacks. And I guess the big question here, which one are you looking at as a captain? If so, either. And are you going to try to fit both of them in somehow?
I'm definitely going to try to fit both of them into my lineup. I really want both of them in my lineup. And for the captain spot, I have to have Mahomes in there. Mahomes, just ability to be able to get you 50 points, and you multiply that by 1.5, and he can give you 75 points for one player. And I think if you just have him on your on your flex positions, then I think the next guy is going to be able to outscore you by putting him in that position. So I right now have Mahomes in my captain position, and I need to have Herbert in my lineup as well. So I'm playing both those guys tonight. Again, I think it's going to be a high scoring game, but the way the Chiefs played last week, their defense, I don't know what it was. Maybe the Cardinals had a bad game, but I trust in Herbert.
Yeah, well, I mean, they both can play. There's no doubt. Mahomes, by the way, is 17.7K on DraftKings, and Herbert is 16.8K. So almost 1,000 more for Patrick. But what do you think, Crash?
I haven't been able to fit both of them in my lineup so far.
Me neither.
But I can definitely see why you would want to do that. I just haven't been able to do it. And I think in a PPR, maybe on FanDuel, it would be a little bit easier to do with, Mahomes and Herbert. But in a PPR, like, DraftKings, I think we could, get by. I say get by. I mean, these guys can all put up huge numbers with a Mahomes and Kelsey or Mahomes and Eckler and put up very similar scores. I don't know that I need to go to 2 quarterbacks. So I'm looking at, those 2 instead of Herbert and Mahomes, and pairing them up, either probably Kelsey and Mahomes, and then in my GPP, Herbert and Eckler. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, I mean, it is so hard. And again, the salary issue becomes very difficult. But how do you fade either one of these guys? I mean, it makes it really tough. A couple of new folks jumped in. Gizmo Perk. Great to see you in there, my friend. And Johnson Daily Sports, two newbies. So welcome to the Coach Talk family. Hope that you join us for all of our podcasts. And Johnson Daily Sports says, how do you put the words fade and Mahomes together? I don't know how the heck you do that, but I'm with you, man. It's very, very difficult. And you hate to chase those points that everybody else would have up on the board. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. But it's just, again, it'd be nice to come on here and just say the top guys at every position. Yeah, good luck. It's just not going to fly. So
yeah,
I think the key as we break these down for both of you is, where can we find some value? How can we make them fit together? Mm-hmm. But
I mean, I think it's doable on FanDuel. I think you can probably, get by with, Palmer and there's some other guys that I like as value that you can put in there with Mahomes and Herbert. I just think it's a lot harder on DraftKings because you have more players and you don't want to lose that value by putting in a scrub or something. So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if you look at the ownership right now, it's we're not the only ones struggling with this and trying to figure out how to do it. Ownership projected right now is Mahomes is the man. There's no question about it. But when you look at the fantasy point output projections, it's tight. Mahomes 25 and Herbert 22. So, but do you have to have both is the question, because the next highest projected is Kelsey at 19, Eckler 16, Mike Williams 15.5, Juju Schuster 13, CEH 13, and MVS, since we're going with all triple names, for 12. And then your man Palmer at just 11.5, Everett at 11, almost 11.5, and Hardman at 11. So that middle group that I just mentioned are probably going to be the differentiators for a lot.
Yeah, that's a little. What did you say? 19 for Kelsey? Is that right?
That's the projected right now. It's 19.68 projected for Kelsey points in this fantasy points. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah. I think he's going to get more.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. He started out last game, Mahomes, going to him often, and then it was just so easy. Everything worked. Every running back was able to get yards. Every receiver, everyone got open. Everyone scored points in that game. Mm-hmm. So I think Kelsey is kind of the safety blanket for Mahomes if things start changing. I mean, I think the Chargers defense is definitely better than what the Cardinals defense.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought in so many key people in that defense. So I think they're going to be facing a tougher defense where I really think Kelsey's going to be very heavily targeted, just like he should be. I mean, he's Kelsey. He does what he does.
Yeah. Is JC Jackson going to play? I know he was out Sunday.
I don't know. I'm waiting for the inactive list to come out.
Yeah, it should be out.
Let me share as you're looking that up, I'll share the other projections. The ones I gave you were DraftKings guys. On FanDuel, it's 23 projected fantasy points, Mahomes, 20.5 for Herbert, 15 is all for Kelsey. Eckler 14, Mike Williams 13, CEH 11.5, Juju 11, and then Valdez-Scantling just under 10, Everett under 10, Palmer and Hardman under 10. So again, all those guys bunched in the middle,
Yeah. So we've got the inactive list for both teams. I'll go over it right now. We've got on the Chargers, Easton Stick, which is backup quarterback, Isaiah Spiller, Keenan Allen, and Donald Parham Jr. So JC Jackson will play. And then on the Chiefs, we have Ronald Jones, which is a little surprising. Shane Buechele, and then, of course, Harrison Butker. is out for the Chiefs. So they have Matt Amendola kicking for them and maybe Justin Reed. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the big thing to me is J.C. Jackson playing. That hurts Juju Smith-Schuster, I think, quite a bit. So I may fade him and, maybe play him in tournaments, but I might fade him 100%. I'm not sure yet. That's definitely going to hurt him, I think.
Yeah, no question. I mean, that helps to know what those are. There's no question about it. I'm trying to look up some ownership numbers for us here too, just to see where that is going. We know Mahomes is going to be chalky, and rightfully so. How could he not be? But the question is, where can we get somebody that's not chalk that's going to be value,
Out of all the other Chiefs receivers, Hardman is priced the least amount. Hardman's a good playmaker. He's priced at 5,600, which is below Juju, which is below Vladis Scantling. Sky Moore is below Hardman, but I don't think Sky Moore is just ready just yet.
No, I don't think so.
Not at all. He'll be the punt returner, kick returner, so I wouldn't waste my money there. They also have different positions, but as far as wide receivers go, I think Hardman is is my favorite pick for another receiving target other than Kelsey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially with J.C. Jackson, I think that's a good call. Valdez Scantling is a deep threat guy, and I don't know exactly how Kansas City is going to use him, but that's pretty much it for him. If he doesn't get a deep ball, then he doesn't get a whole lot of targets normally. So we'll see how Kansas City uses him, but that's typically how he was used in Green Bay. He's also very injury prone, so that's another thing I don't trust about him is he gets hurt a lot. So I definitely like the Hardman call.
Yeah. Here's a quick question from Payne, our man Payne. And if you have any questions, throw them in chat. I'll put them up here for our pros. You guys want to respond to this one?
Sure. Let me put that on the screen here. Oh, you got it. Okay.
I like McKitty tonight. I do. McKitty played over 40 snaps last game when Parham got injured last year, like week 8. That's when McKitty really took off. This is his sophomore year in the system, and he's playing a lot of downs. I think he's a huge value pick. I think he's only $200 on DraftKings.
Yeah, and on the opposite. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Oh, no, and I just think if you're going to try to put all those guys in your lineup, that's definitely a guy that I would consider just based off of being in the game. You never know what can happen. So I like McKitty.
Yeah, on the opposite side, I like Jody Fortson. He's 600 on DraftKings. He got a ton of targets in the preseason with the starters, and so Mahomes has some chemistry with him. He went to him a little bit last year every now and then, but with Blake Bell out, he's the backup tight end, and he could definitely sneak a touchdown in, which would really put us in a good spot in a tournament play.
No question about it. All right, outstanding. Let's give away a ticket real quick, and then we're going to dive into this quarterback discussion because I know Crash is on the quarterbacks. So I am going to, if you haven't made a comment yet in chat, go ahead and say hello real quick because I am going to hit the randomizer for those that have commented in live chat. If you win a ticket, and I'll say this now, and then hopefully everybody remembers if you're in there, if somebody's late, I'll say it again, but go to our Twitter at DFS Coach Talk and DM us real quick. Say, my name is Jim Smith. My PayPal email is jimsmith@gmail.com. Boom. We'll send you the cash in PayPal. You get into the Millie Maker, and then all we ask when you hit it is you give us a big shout out, and that would be fantastic. So we would love that. Boy from Cali's joined us. All right, man. Boy from Cali, how's our baseball lineups doing? I'm battling Boy from Cali a little bit now, so we're a friendly battle. All right, I'm going to spin it, and we're going to have our first $5 winner for the ticket to get into the Big Millie Maker on DraftKings. It is Absolute Power, has absolutely won the first ticket. And shoot me a DM there here at Coach Talk, and we will get that to you. So I will click on Absolute Power just in case you weren't paying attention. There you are. Absolute Power is the first winner. Cool looking dude there. Is that like the NFL metal guy or whatever? I don't know. That's pretty cool.
That looks like what's the dude's name from Marvel, X-Men?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. I think. Yeah, I think that's his name.
There you go.
Yeah.
Let's go into the running backs, and Crash, I'm just going to turn it over to you because obviously this is going to be the key to your showdown slate tonight, it sounds like.
Yeah, the running back. So I like Eckler because he'll be, heavily involved in the passing game for the Chargers, especially with Keenan Allen out. His usage should go way up. I think that he'll probably be the highest targeted player for the Chargers. And so he would be my favorite. And the thing with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I know that Ronald Jones is inactive, but his carries and usage is so up and down. He'll have a big game, and then he'll just completely disappear. Whereas Eckler, he's their workhorse. He's the steady back out of the backfield in the passing game. I mean, I just trust him way more. So I would definitely lean towards Eckler. He'll be higher owned, but I think his ceiling is a lot higher.
Okay. Any punt plays that we may grab a cheap touchdown, goal line touchdown out of?
Yeah, I think you could look at Pacheco and McKinnon both for that on the Chiefs side. I think those guys could definitely steal a vulture touchdown from Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Mr. Steven? What do you think
Well,
in the running backs?
Yep. If I'm going to be on a running back for the Chargers, it's going to be Eckler. He costs a lot, but exactly what Crash was saying. I mean, he puts up those points. He's very involved in the passing game. He wasn't used that much though last week for some reason. He did kind of weak last week, but I think they're going to come back to him because of the Keenan Allen injury, and they were just trying to figure it out while the game was going when Keenan Allen left. And there's other guys that kind of stepped in and filled that role, but I think Eckler is going to be way more involved this week, and I would definitely try to get him on my roster. As far as the Chiefs go, again, with what Crash said, I don't really like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, especially in a year-long league. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, why I don't like him in a year-long league is exactly what you said. He'll get you 20 points one game, but then he might get you 2 points the following game. He's got a very low ceiling. The guy I like with the value play in this situation is Jerick McKinnon. He's lower than Pacheco, actually. And I think Jerick McKinnon, once he gets into the game, especially if it starts to become a shootout, he'll be more involved in the passing game. He'll be there every down back because he's the third down back. So I like Jerick McKinnon as the most value play out of all the running backs. Okay.
That makes perfect sense. You look at the ownership, and really the ownership tells you one thing. It's Mahomes and Herbert and Kelsey are the main guys, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody's going to have some combination of those guys. 2 of 3 of them, I think, are going to probably be in every lineup. Don't you guys think?
Well, I like Eckler more than Kelsey, honestly.
Okay.
I think that to me, he might be my favorite player in this game overall. I really like Eckler in this game. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the Chiefs, they just, their run defense is not great. And I just think this is a really good spot for Eckler. I really do.
Outstanding. What about, so you may only go with one of those 3 is what you're saying? Of the 3 highest owned guys, Crash?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I'm not thinking that Kelsey is so much greater than Eckler in this spot. I think they're pretty much right there, neck and neck.
Okay.
I feel kind of the same way about Mahomes and Herbert. I mean, those top 4 to me are head and shoulders above the rest of the group for sure.
Yep. Exactly. You want to try to fit those 4 in, but it's impossible.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah, you can't fit all 4 in.
You have
to choose. Yeah, you have to choose between.
I don't care. I don't care how you try to figure it out. It just
right.
So who's the first one out between? Not to put you guys under the gun here, but between the 2 quarterbacks and Kelsey, who's the first one out in your builds of those three? I know it's a hard question.
Or what kind of a format?
In a well, let's say in a cash and in a GPP.
Probably Eckler in a cash.
He wasn't one of your choices. The two quarterbacks and Kelsey, which one do you eliminate in cash, and which one do you eliminate?
I would eliminate Herbert in cash. Yeah.
And GPP?
Kelsey be the highest owned. Probably Mahomes, which I know sounds crazy, but you got to get crazy in GPPs. Yeah.
I agree. How about you, Steven?
I'm trying to keep all three of those guys. Those are the main three guys that I'm trying to keep no matter what. I'd rather take the
$200 guys.
I'd rather take a $200 guy and try to keep that crew together. I just, Kelsey is just so reliable. I don't, and he can get 20 yards in one catch when Eckler to get 20 yards in the rush is, might take 3 plays. So it might be 3 rushes. So I like receivers more than I like running backs, especially a receiver that gets that much volume, or a tight end. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, this slate seems like it's all going to be about roster construction. I mean, you really talk about stars and scrubs, even on a showdown slate. You just either try to get all those guys and then just the piddly guys. You may not even need that many points from your bottom 2 guys, Yeah. But if you can, get those value guys in there and leave the right guy out, that may be the roster construction that gets it done. Right. That's what I was trying to do. So that's why I asked that question. And for me, the odd guy out was Kelsey, which is hard to say because he really led my team, he and Mahomes last week. And it's hard to not put him in there, but something's got to give, they say it's not easy.
Yeah. It's different because in the past we would just say, okay, Kelsey had a big game this last week, so then Tyreek Hill's going to have a big game. That's kind of
right.
But now it's all spread out. So maybe it's going to be, an MVS week or a McCole Hardman week, or you just don't know. So
well, we hope we put the right combination together. And I want to say hello to the ladies join. Shauna and Bev are in there, so great to have the ladies represented. No Deb, though. No respect, Steven. Where's your buddy Deb?
She actually turned me on to McKitty, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier today, and he got 3 targets last game. Again, he played over 40 snaps, had 3 receptions. So I really like him as a value play. And me and Deb were talking about this earlier today. So
nice. All right. That could be the nugget, the takeaway from this podcast.
Yeah.
It brings it home. I want to say hello also to Joshua Murphy. That's somebody new. And he's thrown a little shade on Mr. Herbert, it sounds like. That might be the guy that needs to be eliminated. He's saying, here, let me put this up here. I thought it's an interesting point. Tua, 65.22. Herbert 46.87 and Burrow 44.44. So I don't know, where's the shade going there, guys?
Well, Tua has a very small sample size and his defense carries him most games. So I don't put too much stock.
That's not very fair, but I do appreciate the point though,
Yeah. Burrow, he's I would have thought that Herbert had a higher winning percentage, but in his first year, the Chargers, their lineup wasn't as solid as it is now. So,
I mean, he's a baby still, man.
He's just third year, right? This is his 3rd year.
I think is he 25 years old? Did we say that last week?
He's
a youngster.
Well,
yeah. All right. We're going to give ticket 2 away real quick, and then we're going to dive into the wide receivers. And not tight ends yet. We'll keep tight ends separate from wide receivers, just for the conversational, because no one's mentioned anybody but Kelsey, of course, when it comes to tight ends. All right. How many winners? What are we giving away? 2 tickets? Is this the second or third one? This is the second one, right? Because Pollard got a bonus ticket. All right, the winner. Oh, my goodness. David Dulac, our buddy.
they're
Our
good.
buddy
Nice.
won one. I'm so happy for David. That is awesome. There's a
Congratulations.
free ticket for David. He's going take that one, and I think he's taking it down. My prediction: David Dulac, a millionaire winner. This MLB locked. Okay, Callie, I want you to give me some home run calls in here if you got them for us, buddy. All right, there's another ticket. Listen, if you want to join us, today's the day. 5-day deal, $19, dfscoachtalk.com. It's a 5-day pass, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Get all the NFL, the lineups tonight, the lineups for Sunday and Monday night. We give full lineups on FanDuel and Yahoo, core sevens for our single entry / cash play and GPP play. So you're going to get all of our pros chipping in and putting those lineups together and getting it done. Yes, David, you won, buddy. I love it, man. All right, my friends, we're not going to, we're running short on time, so we got to get this done. Mm-hmm. Wide receivers, give us your call. You're a wide receiver guy, Steven. So what's the word here? Hardman?
Yep, Hardman's my guy for the Chiefs. And then with the Chargers, I'm going to go with Mike Williams. If you can get him on your roster and work him in somehow, that's wide receiver I would go for with
I think Williams is the safest, probably, but
safest,
right. Money wise.
That's exactly the issue, because he's like the same price or close to it as who was I talking about? I can't remember now. I just went blank.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
No, he's more.
No, he is a little bit cheaper than Eckler. I was thinking of Eckler, but no, he's a little bit cheaper than him. But I mean, I really like Mike Williams as well. I just don't know how he's going to fit in my lineups. But he would be my favorite receiver if you win it just from total game perspective. Both teams,
As of right now, guys, I've got him slotted into my captain spot. Am I nuts?
No, I don't think so.
Bad play. He's not a bad play.
I mean, no, he's not a bad play.
Trying to make it fit. It just seems like he could be the go-to guy. I mean,
he could have 2 75-yard touchdowns. I mean, he's the type of guy that can give you that type of play.
I mean, he was in all of our lineups last week and let us down. He let a lot of people down last week. Keenan Allen's out. So there's a lot of reasons to like Mike Williams. I don't think that's a terrible captain play at all.
I know. I mean, I think his ownership is down a little just because everybody was so pissed off last week because he did nothing.
You can't.
And I mean, if they don't go to him, he's not the main guy, then they're in trouble, I think. So,
yeah, sure. And in regular fantasy, this is the time to go grab that guy. So if you're in a year-long league, he had a bad game, you can steal him from the other team. So
definitely.
It's time to get him.
All right, let's shift to tight end. Kelsey, obviously, we talked ad nauseum about him, but let's. MB wants to know why no Juju love. Let's mention him because Juju Schuster has a little appearance in there in my Mike Williams lineup. So I'd like to get your feedback on Juju as well.
I was initially on Juju Smith-Schuster tonight, but with J.C. Jackson playing, I mean, he's one of those elite level cornerbacks, and I think they'll put him on Schuster, and I think he'll give him some trouble. So that's the reason why I don't like him as much as I did at first.
Matchup issue. Okay. Mm-hmm. Steven, you on the same boat there?
Yeah, I've had Juju Smith-Schuster, and I've used him in the past, and again, he's one of those guys that's hit or miss. Especially in the last 2 years. He just doesn't seem to get the separation that I, like to see from wide receivers. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he got a lot of targets last game, but then again, the Chiefs were able to throw to everybody. Everyone caught a ball. Right. So I don't like Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he costs too much money, and I wouldn't have him in my lineup. I'd try to figure it out another way.
All right. He may get the boot now. I was needing to replace a guy and move somebody around. Juju could get the boot here. So MB, I don't know, man. We'll see. We will see. Let me ask you this. Anybody else other than Kelsey, a tight end for either squad worth rostering tonight, Steven?
Like I said earlier, it would be McKitty. I think McKitty would, for the value, I mean, he's there and he's on the field. Yeah, he's the way to go. I think Gerald Everett just costs a little too much, so I don't really want to roster him. He caught a touchdown last week, but and Herbert throws it to multiple tight ends every game. Last year with Parham and with Jared Cook. So I still think that McKitty will get a couple targets and maybe a touchdown. He likes to throw touchdowns to his tight ends.
Yeah.
Yep, he does.
For sure.
Crash, same scenario?
Well, I do, of course, like Kelsey as well, but Fortson is my GPP only.
Oh, okay.
Sleeper, whatever you want to call it, play. I like him to get a low-owned touchdown. He would be my sleeper play of the game. Yeah.
I like it. And price-wise, it makes sense. So Mr. Everett is the guy. I see, it's funny because when I was trying to fill in, I felt like Everett was sort of just, I think, going to get too much ownership because of the touchdown last week.
Yeah.
That's not a direction I want to go. I always look to fade that guy that I think is getting that ownership bump because of a touchdown, one single play the week before. Right. But not to say he wouldn't go back to him. Like you said, he likes to go to his tight ends, but he was one guy that I thought, he's going to get definitely a bump where I don't think he quite deserves it. So just for my 2 cents worth on Everett. But all right, what about
like Hardman a lot more at that price than Everett? So
who is that?
McCole Hardman.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think so. At that price, no question about it. All right, we got another winner. Zing, 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 bang. Joshua Murphy, the one that was a little shade on Herbert. So he's going to get an extra Finney here to go against Herbert. No, he's going to. So Joshua Murphy, if you weren't on at the beginning, you just want a ticket for the Millie Maker on DraftKings this weekend. Just go to at DFS Coach Talk on Twitter. Send us your PayPal email, and we'll get that out to you tonight so you can get in that contest and get it going. All right, let's go to the infamous kicker, defense, all that fun stuff of anybody here that is in consideration or not. I mean, I looked at these two defenses against these two offenses, and it was like, no,
I don't have anyone here. I would rather put a low dollar wide receiver, even tight end in that spot. These defenses should really struggle. And we've got a backup kicker and, there's the whole situation. I don't like.
The Chargers don't kick.
Yeah.
They go for it the most out of any team, unfortunately.
And it's tough to kick an Arrowhead too.
Yeah. For sure. And they don't want to kick because they know they have to score points. So they need that 7.
They do go for it on 4th down a lot. So where sometimes the defense and kickers are definitely in play. I agree with you guys. I can't even hold my nose and put any of those guys in there. I just don't feel like it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see a lot of Matt Amendola in my contest tonight because I think that's a terrible play, but we'll see.
Okay. Hey, fades are just as important as big calls. There's no doubt about it as far as who you're playing. Because, fading the right guys, that's what it comes down to. There's no doubt about it. All right. Yes, David, send me that again because it reminds me who gets the tickets. And I do not want to forget you, David. So definitely send me that information. All right. A couple of last questions, and then we're going to get on our road so we can get these in. If it comes down to one single guy that your first pick on your team, who is it, David?
David.
David. I'm sorry. Steven. David, you can tell. Maybe that was a Freudian slip. David,
one guy.
I want David to type in his number one guy because for some reason I'm calling out David. I'm reading the chat. Go ahead, Steven.
I want Mahomes on my team.
Mahomes number one. Crash.
Mahomes. Yeah.
No, I thought you were going to say Eckler.
No,
You
no,
chickened out.
no. I mean, in a vacuum, yeah, Mahomes. Yeah.
I'm with you on Mahomes, but my sleeper, I'll go with my sleeper, Mike Williams. I already said it. I just think Mike Williams bounces back today. So sleeper doesn't have to be dead cheap, but it can't be the top 3 guys. What do you have for your sleeper play? I know you've said some already, but only one pick. Crash, what do you got?
I think Jody Fortson. I mean, I know that's like crazy cheap, whatever play.
Cool.
Max entry play type deal, but yeah, Jody Fortson I think is my sleeper.
And Steven?
I'll go more sleeper than that because I think McCole Hardman's not necessarily a sleeper. He's very involved in the offense, and so I'll go with McCole Hardman. He's he just gets the ball in so many different ways. He gets reverses, he gets swing passes, he gets lines up in the backfield, lines up the wide receiver, and just all different ways that he gets the ball. So that's who I'm taking tonight is McCole Hardman.
I love it. And by the way, David, who I called out accidentally, gives us the Herbert selection as his first pick. So now we got all kinds of different opinions here. So that's what it's all about. All right. I mean, that is the key. And then I guess we've already said a bunch of guys were fading, but who's a guy that there's no way? I mean, we mentioned him as people getting some ownership. Guy that's no way going to make your lineup, Steven.
It's hard to say because he had a pretty good game last week, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not on my lineup.
He's out for you.
I'll give you 2, Coach.
Huh?
I'll give you 2.
Oh, wow. All right.
Okay.
Great City.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the former Packer.
Oh, that's just sour grapes.
No, it's not. I promise. I like Christian Watson way more, but even though he dropped a touchdown. And who is the other one? Oh, Gerald Everett. Yeah, he's the other fade for me.
Yeah.
Another sleeper guy is Justin Watson. He got hurt last game, but he was in the lineup in the very first drive. So,
okay. Yeah. He got quite a bit of play time in the preseason. So
and he's cheap too. He's $200 to roster. So
there you go. We got some cheap plays for you if you want to, go that stars and scrubs route. It may be the way to go for sure. Well, outstanding. We're getting late in the hour here, so we want to let everybody have time to get these lineups in. I think we covered everything except we want to give a few prize picks and boom plays out. We'll finish up with that. I believe we have 1 ticket to give away yet. So I'm going to click the button. We'll give that ticket away. We'll let you guys get your Boom Fantasy and prize pick selections ready, and then we will get on down the road. All right, the button is being clicked. The last winner of a free ticket who needs to send over the info. MB again? How many times has MB won? He wins every contest, I think. MB he's going to have such a stack of freebies. You got to win it now, MB. I mean, it's just in the bank for you. All right, let's start with prize picks. Crash, what are your plays?
Oh, shoot. I just
gave you 5 minutes to get ready.
I know. I just turned it off the screen. I don't know what happened.
All right, Steven, you lost your first pick. Crash. That happens in baseball.
I think both quarterbacks are going to get over 300 yards passing. So.
Oh wow. Okay.
Herbert's at 283. Mahomes is at 299. I think it's going to be a throwing game.
Double overs. Okay.
Double overs on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like it.
I like that too. Okay. So Austin Eckler over 18 fantasy score. Juju Smith-Schuster under 14 fantasy score.
Juju taking some more heat. I love it. Okay, now let's go to our presenting sponsor. We love you, Boom Fantasy. You're awesome. Boom Fantasy. Our favorite picks there. Crash, you get to go first this time. So because you forfeited your first pick in prize picks.
I'll echo what Coach Steve said earlier. Justin Herbert over 285.5 passing yards. That seems really low.
Oh, he's going to bust that.
Yeah. And then I will take Clyde Edwards-Helaire under 45.5 rushing yards.
Okay. More shade on that poor gentleman. And Steven, what do you have for Boom?
I'm going with Mike Williams over 49.5 receiving yards.
There he is, my captain.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to go with Justin Herbert over 1.5 touchdowns.
Oh, okay.
Passing
I like
touchdown.
it.
Passing touchdown. Yeah, that's
Yep.
touchdown. Yeah, I like that.
Gotcha. All right, outstanding. No final questions. We get the tickets are out there, so I'll look to get those out to everybody. Really appreciate. We had a nice group in here. We'll be here every Thursday at 6:50 Eastern, and then join us though for those that were in today. We'll give some more tickets away on Saturday, and that's the show that gets pretty intense because we do the whole deal. 8 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. We beat everybody to the punch, get all the information for you so that you don't have to, be crazy Sunday trying to get it all done. So appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining us. And we'll be back, Crash and I, tomorrow for Major League Baseball. And then the three of us will be back on Saturday for the Sunday slate. So great job, fellas. Love doing the show with you. Appreciate it. And we'll certainly be back again on Saturday when we look to crush it in NFL DFS, PrizePicks, and Boom Fantasy.